Hello, my name is Sydney, and welcome back to this episode of In the Know. I feel like I say this in every episode, but I am so excited to talk about this musical group. I fear I am a retired historian on this topic, and in the realm of people who raised me, I would say they rank as 3 or 4. That's how big and impactful they were to me. They have had hit songs like I Write Sins Not Tragedies, Death of a Bachelor, This Is Gospel, and many, many more emo hits. And this band has just headlined the When We Were Young Festival 2025 alongside Blink 182. They are Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco is a pop punk band that started in 2004 in Summerlin, Nevada, with OG members Ryan Ross, who played guitar, and Spencer Smith, who played drums. They met in high school and began playing together in freshman year. It was not until later on that year where Ryan and Spencer were joined by bassist Brent Wilson, who also brought his friend Brendan Urie. They started as a Blink 182 cover band, which is ironic because they just headlined with them. Additionally, while Ross was the lead singer, he fell sick during one of the rehearsals and Brendan covered for him, setting in stone that Brendan was going to be the lead on vocals. This was just the beginning for Panic. In their humble beginnings, the group would play out of Spencer's grandmother's living room, but they eventually got enough money as young high school and college students to pay for their own practice space. All of the boys dropped out of school and decided to fully commit to the band. Ryan and Brendan both decided to take a chance and sent a demo of their band to Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy through LiveJournal. To those who do not know what that is and aren't boomers, it's kind of like Tumblr, but if you're a literal fetus, it's like Instagram but more blog-centered. Anyways, they got picked up by Pete's record label Decay Dance Records and began recording their debut album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. It was released in 2005. First of all, isn't that name like one of the coolest names ever? Like, you can't get rid of me. I'm literally a fever you can't sweat out. Genius. The album was written mostly by Ryan Ross with additional contributions from Urie and Smith. This album blew up to say the least. It reached #1 on the Billboard Independent Albums chart and 10,000 albums were sold within the first week of sales. After their album was recognized as certified platinum in 2006, there was some inner turmoil within the band's members in which Brent Wilson, the bassist, was not fulfilling his end of the artistic contributions. He blamed it on his inability to fully explore artistically and left the band. He was then replaced by John Walker. Shortly after, they started the Nothing Rhymes with Circus tour that had a strong theatrical pull to it with contortionists and clowns. It became a full theater experience for concertgoers. After A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, the band did a complete 180 and decided to enter a different genre, folk rock, with the album Pretty Odd. This was not received well in 2008, but they were nominated for a Grammy for their album box set. However, this album went triple platinum in my bedroom when I was 12. With this genre switch, there was a bubbling of artistic differences amongst the band members. Ryan wanted to stay close to the folky rock Beatles sound, and Brendan wanted to return to that pop punk sound. This obviously created a rift in the band. Though the band didn't split, John and Ryan left, whilst Brendan and Spencer kept the name and continued as Panic. Ryan and John continued in a band called The Young Vanes, which still made the folky sound Panic made with Pretty Odd. This band is pretty good, they just did not last very long. Panic at the Disco's success was in a gray area, to say the least. Many fans were concerned about the lyricism declining after Ryan left, and it was evident that the lyrics weren't the same. After Pretty Odd, they released Vices and Virtues and Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die. The band went through various member additions and separations. Dallin Weeks joined the band during the Vices and Virtues era and stayed until Death of a Bachelor. Spencer left the band initially in 2013 and then fully in 2015. It was not looking the best for Brendan until Death of a Bachelor. This album skyrocketed Panic back into the stratosphere and back into people's earbuds. They earned their second Grammy nomination for this album in the category of rock. After Brendan made Pray for the Wicked, which did pretty good commercially, you were hearing high hopes everywhere, I bet. And then Viva Las Vengeance came out, which did not do as well, to say the least. This was when Brendan announced that Panic would be taking a hiatus in 2023. This year, Panic celebrated their 20th anniversary for A Fever You Can't Sweat Out and announced they were performing at the When We Were Young festival in Las Vegas. They also announced they would be playing the album in its entirety. I freaked out and I had so many questions. Was Ryan going to be there? Was Brendan actually taking care of his voice to sing through this entire album he recorded when he was 18? Will he even acknowledge Panic's past? I needed to know. Unfortunately, I could not be there, but trust, I was on those TikTok lives, watching the show. I was saddened to know that Ryan was not there, but Spencer was, which was still a win in my book. They had a bunch of Easter eggs stashed around Las Vegas and began hinting at a surprise to be released on the 20th. This sent many emos into a frenzy. I need a tour and will do whatever it takes to see Panic. What's actually announced was the 20th anniversary edition of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out album set and merch. I still have faith. And Brendan, if you can hear me, please go on tour. I have faith, guys. I have faith. That's all from me today. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I'm sure I yapped way more in this one. I'm going to go listen to Lying is the Most Fun, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.